activity, but the district attorney here says there could be more charges on the way. Shannon.
Matt Finn, thank you very much. President Trump's Attorney General nominee is set to begin Senate confirmation hearings tomorrow. How will he respond to questions about that New York Times report that the FBI was investigating whether or not the President of the United States was a Russian agent?
I guess you could say they're dirty cops.
When I say drivers who switched from Geico to Esurance saved an average of $412, you probably won't believe me, but you can believe this. Real Esurance employee Nancy Abraham. Look her up online. Esurance. It's surprisingly painless.
Good, they're here. You can just leave them on the porch.
Help protect your packages with the ADT Video Doorbell. Package Protection Service. Brought to you by ADT.
I yo-yo dieted for years.
I counted the points, I followed the rules, and it didn't help me long term.
I was just so tired of losing the weight and gaining it all back.
But I found something new. It's called Noom.
It's not a diet. It's a totally different, personalized program
that uses psychology and small goals to change your habits.
So that you can lose the weight.
And keep it off for good.
It's super easy to get started, so what do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com today and lose the weight for good.
Hiring? It's a big deal. Finding the right candidates can take up lots of your time and energy. But not on Indeed. Millions of great people are using Indeed every single day. People with every possible combination of skill and experience. And with filters to help you find them faster, whatever type of candidates you're looking for, you'll find them on Indeed. Accelerate your hiring even more with a $50 credit to start your first job post with premium placement on Indeed.
When we started our business, we were paying like an arm and a leg for the postage. I remember setting up ShipStation. I think it was just like 1 or 2 clicks. Everything was up and running. I was printing out labels and saving money.
ShipStation saves us so much time. It makes it really easy and seamless. Pick an order, print everything you need, slap the label onto the box, and it's ready to go.
Our cost for shipping, like, we're cut in half, just like that.
ShipStation, the #1 choice of online sellers. Go to shipstation.com/save and get 2 months free.
Land Rover, above and beyond.
This is Fracture. Just upload an image, place your order, and it'll show up at your door, beautifully printed directly on glass. And this isn't just another frame, not just another canvas. This is new. This is a Fracture. Visit FractureMe.com and print one today.
Turn up your swagger game with one-a-day gummies. One serving, once a day, with nutrients that support 6 vital functions and 1 healthy you. That's the power of one-a-day.
Here we are.
You don't always use your smartphone to like something.
How is it? Perfect. Who is this?
You don't always use it to share something.
He's doing it.
But when it matters most, you count on TracFone to keep you connected for less.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah.
Our new smartphone plan gives you talk, text, and data with unlimited carryover starting at $15 a month, no contract. All with nationwide 4G LTE coverage. Get top smartphones or bring your own phone. TracFone, for moments that matter.
So, Lionel, what does being able to trade 24/5 mean to you?
Well, it means I can trade after the market closes.
It's true.
So all evening long.
Ooh, so close. Yes, but also all
night through its entirety.
Come on, all
the time from sunset to sunrise.
Right, but you could trade
from darkness to light.
You're not gonna say it, are you?
I guess you could say they're dirty cops. I have never seen a turnaround in a bureau or agency like I have with the FBI. They are so embarrassed. I think 12 people now have been terminated. And others, if you look at what's happening, others are going to go.
That is the president responding to a New York Times report which alleges that after President Trump fired FBI Director James Comey, the FBI began investigating whether or not the president was a Russian agent. That report could come up tomorrow during the confirmation hearings for Attorney General nominee William Barr, among many other things. Let's bring in former chief counsel to the House Judiciary Democrats, Julian Epstein, and the former chief nominations counsel to the Senate Judiciary Committee, Greg Nunziata. Great to have you both with us tonight, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so I want to read something from Senator Chris Coons, a Democrat who sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee, an opinion piece today. He said, the headline is, here are the commitments William Barr needs to make to be an attorney general. He says, I will be looking for unequivocal commitments that he will respect the independence of Mueller's investigation, that he will ensure it receives all of the resources it needs, that he will not overrule Mueller's decisions about indictments and prosecutions, and that he will not allow anyone, including the president, to interfere with or curtail the investigation. Greg, do you think he'll have any issues with that? He's spoken quite a bit to those issues so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends what Senator Coons means by unequivocal commitments. I don't think you're going to hear the Attorney General, past and future Attorney General, commit to specific decisions that he'll make. But he'll lay out some broad principles that he'll apply that I think should get him most of the way to what Senator Coons is asking for. He's already said in his prepared testimony, he said outside of this process that Mueller's a friend of his, someone he respects, and he thinks it's important that his work is allowed to come to a completion and be shared with the Congress and the American people.
Yeah, and apparently he and Mueller go back, he says, as friends for 30 years. I want to read a little bit of his testimony because obviously in putting some of these things out, he's trying to preempt some of the fire that he's going to take tomorrow. But he says this, I believe it's in the best interest of everyone, the president, Congress, and most importantly, the American people, that this matter be resolved by allowing the special counsel to complete his work. The country needs a credible resolution of these issues. If confirmed, I will not permit partisan politics, personal interests, or any other improper consideration to interfere with this or any other investigation. I will follow the special counsel regulations scrupulously and in good faith. And on my watch, Bob will be allowed to complete his work. Julian, Bob there being Robert Mueller.
I think that's good, and I think that goes most of the way there, and I tend to agree. Look, Barr, and I worked a little bit with him when he was the Attorney General in the 90s when I was at the Government Oversight Committee, yeah. And he's a good guy, he's a decent guy, he's by the books, he's extremely competent. I think where he's going to get into trouble is the memo that he wrote last year where he suggested that the president's firing of Comey in the middle of the Russia investigation should not, as, you know, a priori be something that should be investigated for obstruction of justice. That's a difficult thing to sustain because that's basically taking the argument that if the facts turn out that the president fired Comey for illegal purposes, for corrupt purposes, that he should not be investigated for obstruction of justice. That's like saying if a president commits a crime, he should never be investigated. He can just keep firing the investigator.
Well, he did caveat this by saying this is based on what he knows publicly. He didn't say presidents couldn't be pursued for obstruction of justice. He just said based on what he knows.
And he knew very few of the facts, which was the problem. And he seemed to be putting a thumb on the scale against an investigation of obstruction of justice. I think that's where he's got some difficulty.
He's going to get attacked on that, but I think he could defend it and make the memo work for him. I mean, for three reasons. One, it's careful and thoughtful legal work. Two, he says explicitly in that memo that the president can obstruct justice and can be prosecuted or investigated for that in certain circumstances. And third, the memo is clearly animated by a concern for the Department of Justice and the men and women working there. And it shows a real love of the department. He's worried about the president that might be set by an investigation that looked purely political and that wasn't tightly tethered to
and I think that's a fair way. If he's smart, that's how he will try to thread the needle on that question. On the other hand, he seems to be putting his thumb on the scale against an investigation of obstruction of justice. Most of the American people support the Mueller investigation. Every poll has shown that it supports
and he says he will too.
Over 35 indictments. There were, during the campaign, there were 19 meetings between Trump and Russian surrogates, Russian intelligence officials, 55 contacts.
It's not over. There's a lot that we don't know, but so far, no concrete evidence of collusion, but we'll see what the Mueller investigation comes up with.
No concrete evidence that the president conspired to violate campaign, computer hacking laws or the disinformation campaign subsequently. There is a lot of evidence of other crimes, however.
Okay, we got to leave it there, but we'll continue to watch and wait, and we'll watch these hearings tomorrow and see just how rough and tumble it gets. As you mentioned, there's several presidential contenders for 2020 who will want to get some camera time, so we'll see. Thank you both.
Thank you.
All right, this is Fox News Alerts. Very strange. We're getting reports of officer-involved shootings in 4 different jurisdictions across the country tonight. That's a lot for any evening to have 1 or 2. We're trying to piece together what we know about these different stories. 3 deputies with the Ector County Sheriff's Office in Texas shot tonight. Those deputies were serving search warrants and were told a suspect fired when they entered and that the suspect there is on the loose. Now, a suspect is in custody, no officers injured, after a shooting involved police at an auto zone in Peoria, Arizona. Frisco, Colorado police. There is an officer-involved shooting in a parking lot near a Whole Foods there, we're told tonight. The suspect is under arrest, and there was an officer-involved shooting in Richland Hills, Texas. The subject, we're told, was transported to the hospital. Police canine also hit and transported for treatment. We will continue to track each of these cases. More news next.
This program is brought to you by All Day, All Night Protection from Frequent Heartburn with Nexium 24HR.
Before discovering Nexium 24-Hour to treat her frequent heartburn, Marie could only imagine enjoying freshly squeezed orange juice. Now, no fruit is forbidden. Nexium 24-Hour stops acid before it starts for all day, all night protection. Can you imagine 24 hours without heartburn?
After walking 6 miles at an amusement park, Bill's back needed a vacation from his vacation. So he stepped on the Dr. Scholl's kiosk. It recommends our best custom-fit orthotic to relieve foot, knee, or lower back pain, so you can move more. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
These people, they speak a language we cannot understand.
Deductible?
Definitely speaking insurance.
Additional interest on umbrella policy?
Can you translate?
Damage minimization of civil commotion.
When insurance needs translating, get answers in plain English at progressiveanswers.com.
He wants you to sign Karen's birthday card. It's a high honor.
Hey! All right, let's get going.
You want to make sure to aim it.
I'm aiming it.
I ordered it for everyone.
We got the biggest Subaru to help bring our family together.
Just resting my eyes.
Even though we're generations apart.
What a day. I just love those kids.
Presenting the all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent.
Grandma, everybody.
Love is now bigger than ever.
This is an urgent message from the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. There is an emergency food crisis for elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union. These people live on pensions so small they must daily decide between buying bread or firewood to keep warm. For just $25, we'll rush an emergency survival package to help one desperate elderly person for a month. Call right now.
800-747-4664.
In Ukraine, there's no support network. They don't have food cards or neighbors that come in to help. They're turning to us because they have nowhere else to turn.
God promises to bless those who bless Israel. May you be blessed as you bless his children.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. Call right now for your free book. And as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched over 1,200 annuities and summarized the rates and benefits of annuities from financially strong insurers. Again, that's Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Supplies are limited. Call now.
Call 800-774-3956. That's 800-774-3956.
Tonight, another blow to President Trump's attempt to try to roll back certain Obamacare regulations. This one involves contraception and employers, including a group of nuns who may be forced to pay for it despite their deeply held religious objections. Late today, Pennsylvania District Court federal judge Wendy Beetlestone issued a nationwide injunction against President Trump's policy that would allow some employers to opt out of mandatory birth control coverage, which they'd pay for women. The new rule would have allowed employers to opt out based on religious or moral objections, such as the Little Sisters of the Poor. But Planned Parenthood says the Trump policy is so broadly written it could apply to corporations and investor-owned companies who might use the loophole to avoid paying for coverage. Time now for tonight's Midnight Hero. A soldier is being credited with saving the life of an accident victim, and he did it with just a sweatshirt and a ballpoint pen. Check this out. Sergeant Trey Troney happened upon a crashed pickup truck. The driver was trapped inside, so once he got the man free, Sergeant Troney took off his sweatshirt. He used it to stop the flow of blood from the victim's head wound. Well, then the sergeant realized the victim's lung had collapsed, so he knew to use a ballpoint pen to help puncture his chest wall to help the victim be able to breathe then. Well, the man has survived and has since offered to replace the sergeant's sweatshirt. Sergeant Troney, you're a hero in more ways than one. Most watched, most trusted, most grateful you spent your evening with us. Good night from Washington. See you for special coverage in the morning. I'm Shannon Bream.
To be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best to make you everybody else means to fight the hardest battle which any human being can fight and never stop. Does this sound dismal? It isn't. It's the most wonderful life on earth.
Great news. Liberty Mutual customized.
I deliver the news around here. Sources say Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Over to you, Logo.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Safe Flight Auto Glass, we know that when you're spending time with the grandkids, every minute counts. And you don't have time for a cracked windshield. That's why we show you exactly when we'll be there, saving you time so you can keep saving the world.
Never had bacon. It ruins everything without bacon forever. I never get Hulu. With live TV and tons of shows and movies, it's like the bacon of TV.
Inflammation may cause everyday joint discomfort. Turmeric supports healthy inflammation response due to physical overexertion. Cunol provides superior absorption compared to regular turmeric. Cunol, the better turmeric.
I finally got my dad to simplify. He even got the new Jitterbug Smart 2 from Great Call, their simplest smartphone ever.
How much for this? I couldn't part with that.
And with 5-star urgent response on the keypad, he can always get help.
One touch immediately connects him to highly trained 5-star agents who will get him help in any emergency, big or small.
Hey, Dad, how's it going?
Great. People love my stuff. No.
Service starts as low as $17.48 a month at Best Buy or Rite Aid.
I yo-yo dieted for years.
I counted the points, I followed the rules, and it didn't help me long term.
I was just so tired of losing the weight and gaining it all back.
But I found something new. It's called Noom.
It's not a diet. It's a totally different, personalized program
that uses psychology and small goals to change your habits.
So that you can lose the weight.
And keep it off for good.
It's super easy to get started, so what do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com today and lose the weight for good.
I think the best companies succeed as a team, and our shirts from Custom Ink help bring us together. We order Custom Ink to welcome new employees, personalized team shirts, and even for company events. The Design Lab is so easy to use. We just upload our logo, and if we have any questions, customer service is there to help. Seeing our team together in Custom Ink gear is an amazing reminder of how far we've come as a business.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you look and feel like a team. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
When it comes to winter, you want the upper hand. So to help make sure it could handle the harsh weather, we took the real-time all-wheel drive technology available on the Honda HR-V and pushed it to its limits in the most severe winter driving conditions. Take winter for a spin with a great deal on the restyled 2019 Honda HR-V, part of U.S. News' best SUV brand.
not for colds.
I am not for just treating my symptoms.
I am for shortening colds when I'm sick with Zicam.
Zicam is completely different.
Unlike most other cold medicines, Zicam is clinically proven to shorten colds.
I am a Zyfan for Zicam.
Oral or nasal.
I'm Ken Jacobus, and I switched to the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. I earn unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy. And last year, I earned $36,000 in cash back, which I used to offer health insurance to my employees. What's in your wallet?
Welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. We want to bring you the latest on what was really a remarkable story that broke late Friday in the New York Times. We didn't have time to address it then. According to what are apparently high-level sources within the Department of Justice, in 2017, the FBI secretly began an investigation into whether the president is, in fact, a Russian agent. The FBI apparently believed that President Trump could be a one-man sleeper cell, personally taking direct orders from his handlers in Moscow and working from within the Oval Office to subvert this country. The FBI said they believed that could have happened, so they spied, apparently, on the President of the United States. Well, shocking doesn't even begin to describe this story. Nothing like this has ever happened in this country. These allegations are literally without precedent. That is not overstatement. And by the way, the allegations are not true. The FBI did not find that Donald Trump is a Russian agent. No charges were ever filed against him. None will be. But an equally important question remains unanswered. How did this happen? Deciding that a sitting president should be investigated for treason is not a small thing. Officials within the FBI had to push for this investigation and then marshal evidence to justify it. Leaders at the very highest levels of the agency had to sign off on the whole thing. All of that happened. But on what grounds exactly? That's what we would need to know in order to understand this. Well, thanks to the Times story, we have some sense of the answer. And if you're imagining a secret transmitter covered in Cyrillic script discovered hidden in the Lincoln bedroom, no, think again. There were no cloak and dagger clues in this case, apparently. The FBI assumed that Donald Trump might be a Russian agent not because of anything he did in secret, but because of things he said in public, very public, standing on a stage, on camera, while running for president. Here's one of them.
There's nothing I can think of that I'd rather do than have Russia friendly as opposed to the way they are right now. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually got along, as an example, with Russia? I'm all for it.
That was then-candidate Trump speaking at a press conference in Florida at Doral in July of 2016. According to the FBI, the words you just heard are evidence that Trump may have betrayed this country. That's their view. But there's another way to look at those words. Maybe Trump is right. Russia, is a nuclear-armed power on the other side of the planet. It does not have the power to invade the United States. It can't close international shipping lanes. It does not seriously threaten our key allies like Japan or Great Britain. Is there some reason, then, that we should inherently be in conflict with Russia? Is there, moreover, vast public support in this country for fighting a proxy war in Syria with the Kremlin? And how many American parents are anxious to send their kids to die for the territorial integrity of Ukraine, an issue that we're supposed to think is very important? Well, outside a few neighborhoods in Washington, not very many people, it turns out. So Trump did raise a fair question at that press conference in 2016. In Washington, saying that out loud is considered treason.